Welcome to English with Miss Julia. This lesson is aimed at both beginner as well as intermediate learners. We read a story with the title Puffy the Brave Little Pufferfish. I encourage you to pause the video regularly, identify new vocabulary, and also practice your pronunciation. That being said, let's get started. In the deep blue sea, near a coral reef full of colors, lived a tiny pufferfish named Puffy. Puffy had big eyes, a round body, and tiny fins that wiggled as he swam. What made him special was his ability to puff up like a balloon when he felt scared. But Puffy didn't want to puff. He wanted to be brave. Every morning, Puffy swam out of his cozy cave to say hello to the ocean. He waved to the clownfish, nodded to the sea turtles, and greeted the busy crabs. But sometimes loud noises or big shadows made him puff up without thinking. The other sea creatures giggled when he turned into a spiky ball. One day, Puffy heard about the great Reef race. All the young sea animals were going to race through tunnels, coral mazes, and seaweed forests. Puffy wanted to join, but he was concerned that he might puff up and float away. Still, something inside him whispered, "Try." Puffy practiced swimming every day. He darted through coral, zigzagged through kelp, and did somersaults in the sea. "I'm going to be fast and fearless," he said. His best friend, a shy seahorse named Sandy, cheered him on. The night before the race, Puffy couldn't sleep. "What if I puff in front of everyone?" he whispered. Sandy gave him a gentle hug. "Everyone has something that makes them different. That's what makes you, you." Race day arrived, and the reef was buzzing with excitement. Octopuses held signs, jellyfish floated like glowing balloons, and starfish clapped with their arms. Puffy took a deep breath as the coral trumpet sounded. "Ready, set, swim!" Puffy zipped through the first tunnel faster than he'd ever gone before. Fish cheered as he glided past them with a confident smile. But then, boom! A loud thud echoed through the reef. Puffy puffed up in surprise and drifted upward like a balloon. "Oh no!" Puffy cried as he floated above the races. He felt embarrassed and wanted to hide in a shell. But Sandy called up to him, "You can still do it. Float back and try again." So Puffy wiggled and flapped his fins, slowly sinking back into the race. He passed a grumpy crab stuck in a coral crack. "Need help?" Puffy asked. The crab nodded and Puffy carefully puffed up just enough to move the coral. "Thanks, kid," said the crab with a grin. Puffy kept swimming and came to the swirling seaweed forest. The long green strands danced like noodles in the current. Most fish were tangled and confused, but Puffy's small, round shape made it easy for him to weave through. Soon he reached the Jellyfish Tunnel, where glowing jellyfish floated like lanterns. One jellyfish got scared and zapped a rock, sending pebbles falling. Puffy puffed up quickly and shielded a baby turtle from the falling stones. "Wow!" said the turtle. "You're like a hero." At the final stretch, a strong current pushed many racers back. Puffy looked around and saw Sandy struggling behind him. He swam back, puffed up gently, and let Sandy grab on. Together they pushed forward against the waves. The coral finish line glowed in the distance. The crowd was cheering louder than ever. Puffy gave one last burst of speed. He and Sandy crossed the finish line side by side. They didn't come in first, but that didn't matter. Everyone swam over to cheer for Puffy. "You helped others and never gave up," said a wise old sea turtle. "That's what real bravery looks like." From that day on, Puffy felt proud of who he was. He realized puffing up wasn't something to be ashamed of. It was part of his magic. Sandy and Puffy kept exploring together, helping others along the way. And every now and then, Puffy would puff just for fun. One sunny morning, Puffy found a shiny shell on the ocean floor. He showed it to Sandy, who loved collecting beautiful things. They decided to start a sea treasure collection together. Soon Fish from all over came to see their underwater museum. While exploring a hidden cave, Puffy and Sandy heard a strange humming sound. They followed the sound and discovered glowing sea crystals. Each crystal shimmered with a different color. "This is the most amazing adventure yet," Puffy said with wide eyes. They carefully brought one crystal back to the reef. The crystal glowed gently, lighting up their treasure cave. Every sea creature that visited smiled in wonder. Puffy loved sharing joy with his friends. One day, a little fish named Finley got stuck in a soda can ring. Puffy swam up and carefully puffed to break it apart. "You saved me," Finley said, hugging him. "Always happy to help," Puffy replied. Puffy started teaching young sea animals how to swim safely. He showed them how to spot danger, help friends, and be proud of their differences. His classes were full of laughter, bubbles, and courage. Sandy helped with arts and crafts after each lesson. At night, Puffy liked to float under the stars and tell stories. The sea above glowed with light of the moon. "I used to be afraid of being different," he told the group. "But now I know it's what makes me special." One evening, a traveling dolphin asked Puffy to help with a big ocean cleanup. Trash was stuck in coral and seaweed all over the reef. Puffy puffed up to reach tricky spots and gently lifted debris. By the end, the reef sparkled like new. The ocean animals threw a thank you party for Puffy. There were bubble cupcakes, seaweed streamers, and glowing jellyfish lights. Everyone danced and celebrated the reef's new beauty. Puffy beamed with happiness. Puffy and Sandy painted a mural on the reef wall. They used seashells, coral pieces, and shiny sand. The mural showed animals helping each other and smiling together. It reminded everyone that kindness and courage go hand in hand. Everywhere Puffy went, sea creatures greeted him warmly. He was known as the Puff of Positivity. He didn't need to win races or be the biggest fish. He just needed to be himself. Sometimes when the sea was calm, Puffy would puff up and float gently to the surface. He loved feeling the sun on his fins and the breeze on his face. I may be little, he thought, but I can do big things. And that made him feel brave. Puffy started writing a book of ocean adventures. He included drawings of treasure hunts, rescue missions, and magical places. Sandy added poems and silly jokes in the corners. Together, they made a book that everyone loved. Puffy knew there were still many places to explore. Caves, islands, deep trenches, each held a new surprise. And with Sandy by his side, he was ready for anything. Adventure was calling. Even when he puffed up now, Puffy felt proud. It meant he was alert, helpful, and one of a kind. He didn't wish to be like anyone else. Being Puffy was more than enough. So, if you ever see a round little fish bobbing through the sea with big eyes, tiny fins, and a happy heart, that's Puffy, explorer, helper, friend, and always the brave little pufferfish. Thank you for reading this story with us. If you enjoyed it, please click the like button and do consider subscribing to our channel. This way, we may reach learners from all over the world and assist them with their English language. We look forward to seeing you in our next lesson.